Five seconds. Start. Sir, I was really pained a little when it was sought to be made out as if we are trying to tie ourselves too much to one country, and in this connection the name of the USSR was mentioned. I would like to say very categorically that in the matter of increasing our defense potential to meet our requirements, I have no inhibition of any kind whatsoever. I am prepared to get the equipment from any source if it suits our requirements and if the terms are responsible and if it does not in any way affect our freedom of action. But as a realist, I cannot ask for the moon. Countries who are not interested in supplying the equipment to me, I cannot enter into any running arguments with them, and I cannot say that they must give me the equipment because I do not want to go to one country. This does not cut any ice in this rather hot-headed international community. After all, when they supply the equipment, they have to look to their own interests and commitments and also several other factors. But in a matter like this, we should not try to belittle the help that we are getting from any country. I would be quite frank in saying that I am grateful to the countries which have supplied equipment to us. We get equipment from West European countries also in addition to the Soviet Union. So it is a wrong impression that is sought to be made or created due to lack of information. It is a matter of historical interest to know that the Soviet Union did help us with certain type of equipment when other countries were not prepared to help us, and if they have helped us we are grateful to them, but that doesn't mean that there are any strings attached to it. After we get the equipment, we are the masters of it. We are also anxious that we should not depend on any other country because it is not a happy feeling in the mind of any defense minister if he has to depend on outside forces. But we are running against time. If there are any pressing requirements that face the country and certain sophisticated type of equipment is essential for the defense of the country, whether it is for the Navy, the Air Force or the Army, then a decision has to be taken whether we should wait for 5 or 6 years till our production source is developed, or we should fill that gap and acquire it from abroad from whatever source it is available. I think this august house will readily agree with me that when the requirements are pressing, howsoever it is desirable to arm your defense forces with the equipment manufactured in your own country, you can not keep it without the necessary weapons if the indigenous production is likely to take time. Sir, it was mentioned by some members that we got some consignment of aircraft from the Soviet Union on a rupee account and later on we are paying in gold. I do not know what is the source of information of the members. This is a matter for checking. All the supplies we have got are entirely on the same basis that we make the payment in rupees and that they can make use of for making purchases in this country. That has been the normal pattern of our purchases and I do not know why the honorable member made this statement without verifying it from anyone. I cannot really find out the reason, but I want to clarify that all these purchases have been made on a well recognized method which has been explained to the house from time to time. We assess its value and we repay maybe over installments or according to a deferred term of payment. About production generally judged by any standard, I think that we have done reasonably well both on the actual quantum of production as also on the economics of production. We have a record which is quite creditable. I would not like to burden this debate with any figures, but perhaps it might be of interest to members to know that in our public sector undertakings on the defense production side, our investment in 65 crores, which is much more than last year. If ancillary is not a public sector undertaking, it will not be reflected in this. The ordnance factories are doing good work. They are showing a great deal of discipline and whenever there was any occasion, for instance, when there was the Chinese or Pakistani aggression, they were prepared to work overtime and then they produced even beyond our normal yardstick. That is the best praise that can be given. That is the word of praise that can be said that they did their duty to the country for which all of us are happy and we greatly appreciate their effort. It is true that in certain factories during the course of last year there was some trouble, but we should get accustomed to this type of trouble and we should be able to find a satisfactory solution by mutual negotiation, by discussion, and this is a better way or approach rather than reeling the big stick. Having said all this in general way, I am not sure whether some of the specific points mentioned require any special reply, but I will try to touch upon some of the points that have been mentioned. Honorable members mentioned about the NCC. I would like to say that the present strength is 13 lakhs in senior and junior divisions. Although now the NCC is available for the first 2 years of the degree course and not in the final year, still the number has not fallen very much even after accepting the final year students.